everybody wants the silver bullet for getting a job. I'm now going to give you the 9 steps. For the silver bullet, see now everybody's grabbing there. Can I get a copy of that video? This is how you do it. And this is not only the silver bullet for getting a job, this is also the silver bullet for selling. For selling a product, marketing a product, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're marketing a product, the product being yourself. So first, and I just went through this with Sprocket. And I was so happy to see that some people have actually been able to find our website. Score. But you've got to, number 1, build the back end before you sell. The back end right now is what you're doing here. You're learning. If you're a machine, you're learning how to put the widget in the what's it. That's building your business. So now that you've built your and do everything that you possibly can to build your back end, to build your business, build your skill, your knowledge, your online presence. In order to be a business, nowadays you have to have an online presence. Everybody is going to Google you when you send in a resume. I'd be very surprised if they didn't Google you or go into Facebook or something like that. Number 1, the negative. Clean up your online profile, your online life. Look and see if you can find those pictures of you doing the inverted beer bong at the keg party or whatever it is. But just clean up your online persona. You need a website nowadays. 10 years ago, I would have not have said that. I wouldn't have even said that you needed a demo reel for an entry-level job that many, 10 years ago. But nowadays, you just do. So a good, workable website, clean, not too fancy or anything like that, but a good, clean website. I think that my personal website is a decent representation of what I'm talking about. So it's patrickbadal.com. It's one of those one-page websites that you scroll down and all the information is there. It's very simple. Writing articles, I think, is a great way for you to be out there. Those articles are 400 to 500 words. They're really simple, really straightforward. Pick one concept, write on it, and put it out there and just publish it, whether it's on a blog or wherever it is. This is number 2. Do some actual work for friends and family. Go out and sell yourself to a friend, to a neighbor, to a nonprofit organization. You like dogs, go over to the SPCA. Do you like, older people, go to AARP, to the local, I don't know, anybody, the local Lions Club, everybody needs video. You got a friend that wants, your friend's mom's brother has a product that he wants to create. Do a video for that person. And if it's I prefer nonprofits just because they always need video. And if somebody is, as part of that nonprofit, there's always people with money that are part of a nonprofit. There's always the people that are higher ups in corporations and companies and that get involved with nonprofit organizations. So if that nonprofit you do a video for that nonprofit organization, they say, hey, here's a video that Steve Smith, produced for us. Thank you very much, Steve. You can use it on your resume. You can now use those people that were on that board of the organization as a personal reference. What if that board, the person on that board is the chief marketing officer of ABC Corporation? Well, now you've got a recommendation from that person. So it's all at picking the right company. So it's A, show your work, B, get a reference from somebody, and also you can feel, get warm fuzzies in your heart because you did something right, did something good for somebody else. Research your network. Who knows who? Research your network as in the people that you know here, the people that you know at home. Mom, Dad, do you know anybody that does this? It's all, no matter what, still in this country and probably in the world, it's all who you know. And now it's not buddy, hire your friend, but it's all who you know. It's just, and that has to do with me getting, with us selling ourselves, with you selling yourself. Everybody that knows what you do is one more person that can potentially get you a job or get you a project. Where do you want to be geographically? Narrow it down somehow. Like, I knew I wanted to go to Richmond. I found all the production companies in Richmond. If I had not gotten a job in Richmond, I was moving to Richmond, and I was going to get a job as a bartender or a waiter working in Richmond. Get a job that gives you some flexibility, hopefully. Because if you say, I'm moving to Richmond, Patrick, I want to work, I'd love to do some work with Sprocket. I go, awesome. I may not have any work for you for a month or two or whatever, but I can introduce you to some other people. You may not get paid, you may get paid, but you know, something on the weekends or something, but I want you to be able to say, Patrick, I can work for you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Anytime, I'll do whatever. So find out where you want to go there, and then start networking with people, and just because you got to be there in that general area to make the most of that sort of. Otherwise, you're just shooting resumes out like a lawn sprinkler everywhere. Contact with individual cover letter and targeted resume. You found someplace you want a job. Do not send a general cover letter, certainly with to whom it may concern. If you're sending out, if you're just going and copying cover letters, resumes you don't change. Cover letters you change. Cover letters to me, Mr. Badal, whatever. Mr. Badal's still my dad, but anyway, you know. Hi, I was doing some research in Richmond. I found out, and I came across Sprocket MediaWorks. I looked over some of your resume on LinkedIn. Very impressive. I'd love to know more about that aspect. Oh, they read it. Okay, I see that you just started Sprocket MediaWorks. Very exciting. I think that's great, especially after working with an organization for 16 years. I'd love to, if you have a moment, I'd love to come down and get some insight from you on how I can get started in the industry. You know, I'm available. This, and this. I'll read that. You know, they've complimented me. You know, they've obviously done some research on me. And it's just the fact that they've done some research that separates them from everybody else that sends me a form letter. Dear sir, dear madam, you know, insert company here. You know, so send an individual cover letter and a targeted resume. Spend at least, once you find your city, spend at least 2 hours on each resume package that you send out in the mail. It's this thing where you put an envelope and you put a little stamp on it, and it's actually something that goes to them. An email, okay, I get a bunch of emails. But you know, it doesn't have to be super fancy, but it just handwrite on the outside, you know, and just send it to, just because you've gone the extra step that most people have not. And then follow up with email. So you're selling. The last thing I do as a salesman is just send out marketing material. Send out marketing material, touch base by email. Hey, I'm going to be in town. I'd like to meet with you, et cetera, et cetera. You know, and then be available. You know, I don't want to get anybody fired. No part-time job is worth passing up an opportunity that could give you a career. You know, and explain to your boss at the Sweet Frog, you know, hey boss, I got this job, I got this really, you know, huge opportunity in 2 days to go down and work for a day with this company called Sprocket MediaWorks. You know, can I get off? You know, blah, blah, you know, that sort of thing. But just be available. So many people that I've thrown opportunities to over the years just weren't able to do them because of something kind of silly. You know, so just so follow up. Think beyond the present when you look for an accepted job. Don't go, yippee, I've got a job, I'm going to make $10 an hour. Think about where that job is going to take you in the future. What opportunities are there within the company? Ask these questions. Take at least 5 questions to your first job interview. Every job interview. Take 5 questions, because I'm going to ask you, if I'm interviewing you, what questions do you have? Nothing. Cool, I'm all right. what types of work are you going to do with that company? You know, you're going to be an editor. Okay, walk me through the exact job description. What does a day look like? Try to talk to somebody that actually works there. When I interview people, bring them in. I sit down and talk to them for a while. Then I send them to talk to the employees so that they can really get to know the people that they're working with. Because the fantasy of working at that place very well may not meet the reality of what it's like to work there. Are there opportunities with that company for cross-training and trial by fire? I've gotten where I am today by being thrown into things. Everybody says, you know, has anybody ever heard if somebody asks if you can do something, whether you can or not, just say yes? Yeah? But if you say yes, make for damn sure you can figure out how to do it. Because the quickest thing that's gonna cause the door to hit you in the butt on the way out is for you to tell me to do something and not be able to do it. Because I am big on tell me you can't, don't tell me you couldn't. Find your talent, find your passion in this industry, and I'm not talking about find your talent, I'm a good editor. I'm talking about find your talent, your innate talent, your innate ability. My innate ability is finding and connecting with people. Am I good? Can I edit? Yeah, I can edit. Can I shoot? Sure, I can shoot. Am I good at it? I'm pretty good at it, but it's not my passion. I like connecting people. I get jazzed when somebody calls me up and says, or I talk to somebody and they go, just the other day, I called up somebody and they said, you know, yes, we are thinking about doing some video, and I have heard of your company. I'd like to come over next Friday. That's what gets me excited. It's all about who you know. We've talked about that a little bit. That's all fine and good, but where do you find people? Networking. Through alumni associations, through people that are here. You should, definitely keep in contact. Learn about the industry and determine how your talent and passion fits. Mine is connecting and finding and connecting. So my biggest strength is sales. My biggest strength is finding employees to come in and fill a need. Knowledge and experience with software, a 4.0 average or outstanding resume gets you invited to the party. Work ethic, attention to detail, personality, passion, creativity, and networking is what makes your career. What is work ethic? Work ethic pertains to a person's attitudes, feelings, beliefs about work, integrity, sense of responsibility, emphasis on quality, discipline, and sense of teamwork. You've never had a sense of teamwork class at JMU. You've never had a work ethic class at JMU. I mean, it's things that you can thank your parents for. It's things you can thank your school for, your church, your friends. It's just when somebody thinks about you, what do they think about? A hard worker? Somebody that can absolutely get things done? And for me, a work ethic is the answer to this question. Can you work late tonight or this weekend? First of all, the very best employees that I've ever had, I've never had to ask that question for. When a boss comes in on a Monday and realizes that 2 or 3 people worked over the weekend and he didn't know about it, I call that a win. Because they didn't come to me and go, boss, project's not done. It's due on Monday, what do we do? What do you mean, what do you do? You come in over the weekend and you work. So they took it upon themselves to say, this needs to get done, let's do it. And they did it. But the answer to that question, can you work for the weekend, what is your answer? Within the first 2 years of your career, your answer is, absolutely, what do you need? I don't care what's going on. I don't care if you got tickets to Metallica. or within reason. If you're getting married, it's, boss, I really wish I could, but I'm getting married. Boss, I really wish I could, but I got to go out and get tanked with my boys. No, your job is to keep that job. Your job is to, so that's absolutely what do you need. When you complete the job, you say, is there anything else you need before I go? With attitude. I had a guy say, hey, can you work this weekend? Were you asking me or are you telling me?
Where does he work now?
Not with me. And I said, well, I was asking you, but now I'm telling you. I need you to be in here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay. You know, it's just, so I say that within the first 2 years, but it should be like that forever. What do you need? Live the industry. There are no 48-hour accounting festivals. You get it now? 48-hour film festivals. I ask people in conversation as we're having our interview. So what do you do? What do you do when you're not working? What do you do on weekends? Perfectly legitimate question for me to ask. Go out and get tanked with my buds and watch some movies and stuff. Oh, cool. No, I like to. I'm a bit of a photographer. I like to go out and shoot stills, or some of my friends will get together and we'll produce a short film, or if there's a 48-hour film festival going on, we'll go do it. Yeah, those are the people that I want to hire, people that have enough passion for this industry that they're doing this on weekends. You know, that's like I said, there's no 48-hour accounting festivals. You know, you're fortunate enough to work in this fun business. Live it and love it.